My name is Veronica. Welcome to my channel. In today's episode, I would like to talk about excursions. Excursions that you can purchase from Norwegian Cruise Line or excursions that you can book on your own for the ports of call. Yes, you always have choices. You have choices not only to save money, but also to get the best of the best and be able to see the places that you always wanted to see. Today, I'm going to share with you my experiences and how I make those reservations for the ports of call, where I go, how I plan it out, and maybe some of that information will be helpful for you as well. First of all, let's go over the pros and the cons of the excursions booked through Norwegian. There are two biggest advantages booking an excursion through Norwegian. Number one is convenience. You can book everything online on Norwegian website and be set. The second advantage is that if the port of call is canceled because of the weather or any kind of circumstances, the cruise line is going to reimburse you 100%. You're not going to lose any money. There is no risk involved. So a lot of times people do that for that specific reason, because then they don't have to worry about, do I get my money back? What do I do next if something cancels? So in that case, it definitely is an advantage to book through Norwegian. Doing it through NCL will give you that peace of mind, and you don't have to do any additional planning. You don't have to spend any more time looking around. On the other hand, if you want to save money, if you want to plan out something unique and custom to what you really want to see and really want to do, in that case, you do have to do your own research. And Norwegian website is not going to be as easy and as flexible with what you're looking for. So the disadvantages of booking your excursion through Norwegian will be: one, lack of details. You're going to have a list of all these excursions for each port of call. And then you have to sort through it. You have to read each description. And I promise you, those descriptions are not that descriptive. That doesn't have a lot of details. And at times it is confusing what you're really going to see. So the excursions I booked in the past through Norwegian, even though they had a little video, they did kind of explain what you're going to see on that excursion, it was still not enough detail for me, because when I went on the actual excursion, I was not only surprised, but I was also disappointed, because to me that excursion was not all that great. Since they're booking these excursions through local providers and they're acting as a travel agent, a lot of times they will probably have a markup on this excursion for a little bit extra for themselves. So some of these excursions might be pricier than the ones you would see and find on your own. The third disadvantage is you're not getting the best options available. It seems like they're giving you all these numerous options, and I'm going to show you an example next of how these excursions look like on their website. There are so many options, but it's hard to pick one or two just because all of them blend together, all of them look the same. Maybe there are some differences in terms of you're going to do sightseeing or you're going to eat some food and try the drinks. When you arrive to your port of call, a lot of times you arrive at 7 a.m. or maybe 6 a.m. and then you have till 4 or 5 or 6 p.m. kind of all day to look at the city, to have your excursions and enjoy your activities. Through the cruise line, a lot of activities start early in the morning, or they gather you in the theater and they assign you the number, they assign you the certain time when your excursion leaves. So they kind of plan it for you, and it's great because then it's less hassle for you. But on the other hand, it pretty much takes up your whole day. Then when you're done, you still have half a day to do something fun. So if it's a small town, you can, of course, walk on your own, do your own things, or just look around, go shopping, whatever you like to do. A lot of people go back to the cruise ship and just have lunch, or they stay in their room, so they go see a show on the cruise ship. But for me personally, I like to have more activities. I like to do more. When I'm in certain port one day and it's a destination, it's an amazing place to see and explore, I want to make sure I spend most of my day at that destination and make the most out of it. I want to see everything. I want to do all the possible activities. Whatever that place is famous for, that's what I would like to do. And if Norwegian doesn't offer it, I'm going to book it on my own somewhere else. Because based on my previous bookings and my previous reservations of shore excursions with Norwegian versus other websites, I noticed that Norwegian doesn't give you the best options or the best details about what you're going to see. So it's really hard to plan ahead of your day of what you're going to do the rest of the day after your initial excursion in the morning with Norwegian. One more disadvantage of booking through NCL and excursions through Norwegian Cruise Line is that they have to get your money up front. So if you're booking an excursion, and as you know, excursions can book up fast and groups can fill up fast. So you have to do it way in advance. So you have to start booking it maybe 3 or 4 months in advance. If you're waiting till last minute, maybe you will not have a spot or it's not going to be available. You can try it. You can leave it till last minute and hope that that excursion will still be available, the excursion that you really liked and you wanted to book. But if it's not available, you're out of luck and you will have to book it with another provider. But if you're doing it with Norwegian and you booked it in advance, you have to prepay for it in advance. And that's a disadvantage because what if you change your mind? What if somebody tells you about something else that would be awesome to see on that island? In that case, now you want to make change of plans. You want to cancel some excursions that you already paid for. So it creates a hassle. It creates a headache. And that's what I don't like. In that case, going with another provider versus Norwegian will be the best choice. So first, we're going to go to the Norwegian Cruise Line website and look at the excursions that are available to you through their website and see which ones you might want to do. First, I went to NCL and found my vacation. So in this example, I'm going to be using Alaska vacation. And then I went to Explore and Plan. And then on here, you will see on the left side the shore excursions, other things that you can add on or upgrade. And then at the bottom, it also shows you each day where you're going to be and what city or town you're going to visit. And when you click on any of those things, it's going to show specific shore excursions available for that specific city or destination. For example, if I'm going to see Sitka, Alaska, I'm going to click on it. And in here, it's going to show all the available excursions from Norwegian. Best of Sitka, Discover Sitka, and other things. 24 excursions. So you can actually go through them, look at them, read the details. The only problem that I see in this is it doesn't have a lot of details that I'm used to when I'm going to other websites to book my vacation. Here's just a list of excursions and it tells you how many hours each excursion is and the activity level. So activity 1, for example, is the easiest, and then it goes up higher if it's more active hiking and doing some more physical activity in the excursion. It gives you the price for child or adult. And then if you want to see details, you can go into the excursion. And some excursions will show you a video, and that's great because then you can get an idea of what it's about. But most of the other excursions just have a picture and a description. So to me, this specific description doesn't give me enough information on what we're going to do, for how long, what stops we're making, where we're leaving from, where we're going to, and back what time. So it really doesn't give as much details as I would like to see. The only thing you can see here is what it's just a general description, the price, the date, and then you can select the time. So you have morning time and afternoon time. Most of the excursions that I saw on NCL website start in the morning. So now, what I usually do is, when I look at these excursions, and for Sitka specifically, there are a lot of them, I will scan through them. Some of them is about history, some of them about nature, best maybe highlights of Sitka. And overall, it's just so much of different options that on one hand, it's great that you have something to choose from. On the other hand, it doesn't really give you any specifics about anything. To give you an example, so when you're booking an excursion like this in any city, whether it's in United States or in the Caribbean or even abroad, like in Europe, for example. So what I do is I go to another website that I use for all other tours and excursions, and that's Viator. In Viator, I'm putting in Sitka. Select dates. So let's say I pick September 9th, because that's the day I'm going to be in Sitka. Click apply. And here you're going to get the whole list of excursions for Sitka. What I like about Viator website is, number one, it's going to show you the ratings. People who already attended these excursions, they rate the experience on this website, and I like that. And I usually pick the highest rated one when I would like to see a certain destination. I'm going to go through all these attractions. I'm going to pick one that has the highest rating. So some of the excursions that are most popular ones, they will say that they're likely to sell out. So I'm going to look at those as well. And the other thing that you can consider here is also the pricing. And if you're comparing apples to apples from Norwegian website to Viator excursions, just keep in mind that these are probably the same providers. When you choose an excursion, just make sure it's highly rated. So for example, if I wanted to do premium Sitka scenic tour, it's 2 hours, 30 minutes. So premium Sitka tour, $100, or best of Sitka 3.5 hours for $130 per person. So it's comparable. And when you compare it from one site to another, it kind of makes sense. So I know now that this excursion is not that bad price-wise. But again, this excursion doesn't give me any kind of ratings. And I took an excursion before where I didn't like it, and I had no place to rate it on Norwegian website or tell them that the provider was horrible. So we're all going to pick this one. So on this one, what I like is all this detailed review or overview of what is included. It talks about the top attractions. It talks about national park, how big is the group, that they're providing air conditioned vehicle, no food or drinks. It talks about meeting point or pickup, endpoint, and what to expect. It has a lot more details of how much time they're spending at each location, where they're going, what you're going to see. And this is what I really like, that you can actually get a better understanding of what you're going to see on that excursion versus a very generic description. This service has been great to me in the past. They send you a confirmation right away. You make a payment. You can cancel within 24 hours. You prepay for it, and then, or you can reserve and pay later. That's also a great option here. So they will charge your card a few days before the excursion, or you can cancel if you decide not to do it at the end. So when I'm planning a trip, a cruise, or any kind of excursions at that location that I'm going to, whether it's before the cruise or after the cruise, a lot of times I'm booking through the third party like Viator. So let me point out those advantages. One is you don't need to pay with cash. You can pay with your credit card a few days before the excursion, and you have 24 hours cancellation window. So if you change your mind last minute, you found something better, you can always cancel it and rebook for something else. So you don't get charged for anything. There is no rebooking fees. There is no hassle with that. The second thing is the savings. If you've been booking with Viator before, sometimes they give you extra cash or they give you discounts for certain excursions. It can be the local vendor providing those discounts, or it could be the Viator throwing cash back at you when you're booking a lot of things through them. So a lot of times I find that some of those same excursions or shore excursions or tours through Viator are cheaper or less expensive and have a lot more variety and customization options than the Norwegian Cruise Line. Number 3, I like the direct communication with the provider directly. So if you have any concerns, if you have any time limits, if you want to tell them about any food options that you would like to choose ahead of time, you can communicate with them directly. A lot of that communication either goes through the website, through Viator, or many times when you provide your phone number, they reach out to you on WhatsApp app or via email, and then you can communicate all those basic details and be prepared for that trip ahead of time. I've booked excursions and tours through Viator for many years, and I've never had any issues with them. I've always been able to communicate with the providers in advance. I was able to make changes or get refunds. And most importantly, I always was aware of what's going to happen on that excursion. What are the details? Where are we going to go? What are we going to see? How much is going to cost me? What is included? What is not? because I like to be prepared ahead of my trip. If you're not a solo traveler and you're traveling with your family, with the kids, with other family members, a lot of times those customizations of your tours and the shore excursions are very important. Not only can you save money by booking on your own, you can also ask the providers or the tour operators to do it during a certain time, seeing certain things. So it's very customizable. Research the port ahead of time. Research that city that you're going to or the island you're going to visit ahead of time so that you know what they're famous for, what food they're famous for. Maybe they're making wine. Maybe you can go and tour the winery. Many times, those custom trips on your own and those customizations through Viator or the third party are much more valuable, less expensive, and they're great for groups because then you can have just that special experience with just your group, with your family members or your friends. Another example I would like to show you is my trip to Greece that is coming up this summer. Greece has so many beautiful sights and so many different things to see. And I'm going to show you as an example one of the beautiful islands that we're going to visit, the island of Zakynthos. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but this island has one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. So on Norwegian website, this specific island has a couple of excursions, just two. As you see here, the first one is they're going to show you the town, the village, explore the churches, enjoy the food and entertainment. So it has nothing to do with the beach or the beach that I would like to see. So as you see, the adult excursion is $89. The duration is 4 hours. And this is pretty much going on land and seeing the city. The second excursion is panoramic Zakynthos, and it's also 4 hours long. The island's oldest monastery and traditional island, so it's fairly inexpensive. The $60 excursion sounds great, but to be honest with you, that's not what I want to see. And some people who are going to these islands or they go on these cruises, a lot of times, or many people do not even research the destination or the ports of call that they're going to see. And I would strongly recommend to do so because you're missing out on some beautiful, beautiful sites. The world famous beach, World Heritage Site or UNESCO sites. There are some things that you can see in that day when you're arriving to this port of call and you have the opportunity to see this beautiful destination. So with this specific one, I'm going to show you how I booked something else. But I definitely want to see this island. So I went on to, again, Viator website. I chose Zakynthos, Greece. Here it shows exactly the beach and the popular destination that I really wanted to see. Unfortunately, NCL does not offer this excursion or this beach excursion. And it has multiple options too. So it has this beautiful beach here. It has a shipwreck, turquoise blue waters. Look at this view from above. This is so gorgeous and so tempting to go visit it. The other thing is it also has different caves that the boat can take you through. That is also absolutely gorgeous. So if I wanted to see and customize this specific excursion, again, I'm going to look at the ratings. So this one has the VIP full day tour. I'm going to look at how many hours this tour is because I'm only going to be at this destination, let's say 9 or 10 hours. So I want to make sure that I can get there safely and come back to the cruise ship on time. So I probably would need 6 hours at this one specifically. So this one is a little bit too long, although it looks very tempting. This one is highly rated too, but it's also 7 to 9 hours, pretty long. So if I'm going to do this one here, the rating is okay. But what I like about it is it's 6 to 9 hours. So I can probably ask them for a specific time frame and let them know that I'm coming with a cruise ship. And then they will customize their itinerary based on my needs. So when you go into this specific option, what I love about Viator is it provides different pictures. It provides the pictures of the sites they're going to show you. It even has additional pictures from the tourists who went on this specific trip. This is amazing. So you pick the date, and then it also has a very detailed description. It takes you to the shipwreck beach. It takes you to the caves, personalized experience, bottled water, all fees and taxes, except for lunch. So you'll have to buy your own lunch. meeting and pickup, so they can either tell you the meeting point, but most of the time I just request them to meet me at the port or pick me up from the port, so it's less hassle for me. So if I put port in here, Port of Zakynthos, I choose that, and again it has more detailed description of what to expect on this trip, how many minutes, how much time they are going to be on the beach, in the caves. I mean, look at this. It's so detailed. I love that. I know exactly what to expect, and I usually actually print out this itinerary so I can take it with me. And then when I'm on this excursion, I know exactly where I'm going next. You check availability, apply, and look, it has specific times. So in my case, it's going to be 9:30 a.m. perfect because the cruise ship arrives around 7 a.m. Or you can do a different option, less expensive option. So if I pick that and I want to do reserve now and pay later, they will just take my credit card, put it on file, and then 2 days before the excursion, they will charge my card. But then I can also cancel 24 hours in advance. But this way I can make a reservation in advance, have it booked, and not to worry about missing anything or not seeing the site that I really wanted to see from the beginning. Thank you, friends, for watching this video till the end. I really appreciate your support. So please don't forget to like this video if you found some information useful. Subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be making more videos about Norwegian Cruise Line and their cruises. Leave questions and comments below if you'd like to know anything specific about my future cruises or my past experiences. Happy cruising!